Are you feeling exhausted by the dating scene? Does it seem like everyone's just performing for an audience, chasing superficial metrics, or rarely seeking genuine connection? You're not alone. The digital age has reshaped how we find love, and it's a game that only few truly understand. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Finding Yourself Again. My name's Dontre. I'm a narcissist survivor who has dedicated my life to helping people heal from trauma, relationships, abuse, childhood neglect, and mental health disorders. The purpose of this channel is to be a light and guide for you on your healing journey towards finding yourself. If this content resonates with you, then hit the subscribe button, drop a like or a comment. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, so with that being said, let's get into today's video. Hopefully that hook got y'all. I know a lot of us are tired of the dating scene right now. When it comes to the modern dating scene, it's difficult. It's confusing. A lot of people are playing different games, using techniques. And I know that my channel is more so related to healing and abuse and trauma and stuff like that. But I'm also going to include every now and then some things related to relationships, because there's an aspect about relationships with this, because once you heal from the toxic relationship or from your trauma or abuse, whatever you're healing from, you're going to eventually get to a place where you want to be vulnerable to healthy people. You want to be, you want friends and loved ones and intimate partner as well, right? Most of us don't want to die alone. Most of us don't want to be alone. So, but we don't want to have a unhealthy or toxic partner. So once you get to a place where you are more healthier and you can pay attention and you can basically differentiate between somebody who's healthy and someone who's not healthy, now you're more ready to jump back into the dating scene. Well, this is modern dating. This ain't dating 20 years ago. Social media has changed things. There's a lot of things that go into play. Even gender kind of goes into play to some extent as well, right? Because men and women are brought up differently, So I want y'all to understand that this isn't about fixing yourself to attract more attention, but it's about understanding the modern dating landscape, protecting your emotional energy, and strategically positioning yourself to find authentic, deep connections amidst the noise of social media and superficiality. So it's no secret that there's many people out there who pay more attention to superficial things. Then we got social media who's telling you a lot of bad advice to and information when it comes to relationships, especially. So if you're just scrolling on social media all day, chances are you're not really getting true, good, authentic, genuine advice, right? So it's toxic. It's an unhealthy landscape all around, in general. For the most part, I would say. I would say that most people you come across are not healthy. Most people haven't went to therapy and got help. And that's just unfortunately the way it is. But the good thing is now, once you get to this point, you should hopefully have the skills that it takes to be able to tell and watch out for people. So we're going to talk about what this relates to most, right? So this relates to our desire for genuine partnership, setting healthy boundaries in relationships, and maintaining our self-respect in a challenging dating environment. That's what this relates to. Because most of us want a genuine partnership, right? I know I do. And we're going to need healthy boundaries in any relationship, especially that one. And it's about maintaining our self-respect in a challenging dating environment. At the end of the day, without pointing fingers or bashing anybody, we're just gonna move forward calling it a challenging dating environment, because I think that makes the most sense. So the purpose of this video and my experience. The purpose is to offer a realistic strategic guide to navigating modern dating, acknowledging the current challenges, and providing insights on how to foster authentic connections that go beyond superficial perceived value. That's what this is for. It's to teach you, how to get those real authentic connections, like with all these challenges right now. From my experience, right, I've personally experienced the complexities of the and emotional toll of challenging relationships and the frustrations of the modern dating landscape. It's really frustrating. Understanding the dynamics in yourself and others is the key to protecting your energy and attracting genuine connections, even when it feels like everyone's playing a different game. It's challenging, man. It's gonna feel like everybody's playing a different game. Nobody's being authentic. But understanding the dynamics in yourself and in others is the key to protecting your energy and attracting real people. So you're gonna have to understand how these dynamics work. Some key points, information, skills for embracing acceptance. So, understanding the nature of unfixable, right? Acknowledge the performative culture of social media dating and how it creates an illusion of abundance or scarcity. You have to acknowledge that social media, it gives people an illusion, because they have this sense of, oh, I have all these people reaching out to me, so I have all these options. Well, you actually don't have really all those options. For one, not all of those are authentic. Probably the majority of those are not authentic, right? 9 times out of 10, they just want to get intimate and, nothing more, right? So these are things you have to pay attention to. This can create an illusion of abundance when in reality, you don't have, you don't really have the abundance that you think you do, right? And then at the edge of that, right, on the opposite end of that, this can make you feel like you have a scarcity mindset, because maybe you're not the one getting attention or getting whatever. So maybe to you it gives you a false sense of scarcity, and it has you thinking like, oh, well, I'm not good enough, so you got to be really careful when it comes to social media. You know what I'm saying? Because it can really create an illusion that can be on one end or can be on the other end. And what's interesting is, in the reality of those, is neither of those are truly true. So let's keep going. Understand that many are chasing an idea of a partner, not a real person. And that's true. A lot of us are chasing this image of somebody. The type of person that we get with has to have this type of income, this type of status. Like, there's all these superficial things we're chasing, you know what I mean? And it has nothing to do with real connection or authentic bonds, and it's interesting because people, when you generally ask people like, oh, what do you think love is about? I hear a lot of people saying, oh, it's about, deep connection and strong feelings and, things that we get along or match with, right? And when you really get down deep into it, a lot of those same people, when you start asking them more serious questions, you'll come to find out that it's not really about that. They care more so about, or at least to the same amount of the resources, the finances, the income, and all that stuff. All that stuff matters, and I'm not here to bash nobody for for wanting or requesting or expecting that of a partner. But I'm not going to at the same time act like that stuff isn't a big factor, because it is. It is a big factor. The power of grieving what could have been. Grieve the traditional romanticized notions of love that you might have grown up with. Accept that dating today requires a different mindset, right? It's a different mindset. We ain't back in, the 90s or the 80s. It's different. So, responsibility versus blame versus acceptance. Take responsibility for your actions and worth, but don't blame yourself for others' superficial needs or choices. Accept the reality of certain dating dynamics, but choose not to participate in ones that don't serve you. Remember, there is going to be certain dating dynamics that are going to be a reality. Obviously, for example, somebody that has more money than you, somebody that's rich, is going to have more options than you. Why? Well, because there's some people, a good amount of people out there in the world that view finances or wealth as they view that as valuable, right? um you know Me or you may view other things as valuable, right? Like our unique characteristics or our talents or skills, our empathy, our values, stuff like that. But there's also other people that view wealth as valuable, and I'm not here to shame them on that. I'm not here to point the finger at nobody for whatever they believe in or like, right? Everybody, has their own lives, and they're free to have their own opinions, right? As for me, I like nice things, I like material things, but it's not what I value. I value my mentality. I value what makes me unique. I value my skills and my talents about myself, and my morals and values and goals. Those are the things, my family, my friends, my loved ones. Those are the things that I value. Material things can come today and be gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? They don't make me. Maybe they make you, but they don't make me. And that's a conscious decision. From fixing to building, redirecting your energy. So um instead of fixing yourself up to being what others want, redirect your energy into building your own life, your own dreams, and your own internal and external abundance. This creates organic confidence. This is going to give you real confidence. Why? Because you're on the road to success, but not just any success, your success, the success that you specifically chose. Like, how cool is that? Like, how much more confident can you be, you know what I mean, when you're chasing the things that matter to you in your life? And instead of directing your energy into other people when they're fleeting, right? Their emotions and their validation is always fleeting. It's never guaranteed and consistent. So what's going to be more consistent is what you're doing for your life, right? Moving forward. So we're going to talk about cultivating radical self-compassion through acceptance. So prioritize your emotional safety and peace. Be kind to yourself in the face of superficiality or rejection. Understand that your time and energy are valuable and not everyone is worthy of it. Learn to be strategic with your time. Understand you're going to be rejected, you know what I mean? And you're going to be in the face of superficiality. You will be around people that are superficial. You will be around people that reject you. That is a part of life. So it's not about trying to avoid yourself or shield yourself from being around them. It's about understanding that this is going to happen, and at the same time being kind to yourself through these times, and understand that your time and energy are valuable, and you get to decide that, not them. Right? This is your life. You get to decide what's valuable to you. All right, so we get into the conclusion. Your journey, your freedom. So we explored how to navigate the complexities of modern dating by focusing on authenticity, self-respect, and strategic engagement. And remember, you are not losing, and and learn. You're not losing. You're learning the game. By building your own abundant reality and holding true to your core values, you create a magnetism that draws real people, genuine connections. Your journey to self-sufficiency and achieving your dreams is your dreams, and it's your ultimate dating strategy. If you guys enjoyed this video, man, hit that subscribe button. That's what I'm really trying to work on right now. I'm trying to get more subscriptions so I can get my content out there to be more visible to others like you. Can help other people out there. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know how you're feeling about this content. What is your experience with this or anything else? And yeah, I hope you guys are taking really good care of yourself, practicing radical self-care, radical self-acceptance, practicing self-compassion, eating good, healthy, nutritious meals, exercising daily, and taking care of yourself on the route to finding who you are. I post videos daily. I'll see you guys later today or tomorrow. See y'all on the next one. Bye.